Well, thank you, everybody. It is 4:30. It's not 5 o'clock, and so we'll call to order and begin our public forum for today. Before we start, I just ask everyone to turn their mobile phones to silent, even if you're not joining us in chambers. As it is tradition for public meetings and events to acknowledge country, this evening I'll be using the acknowledgement developed with the Thunguddy and the Dunguddy people. And Kempsey Shire acknowledges that the land of the Dunguddy and Dunguddy Nation, we pay respects to the elders past and present. We acknowledge the role of emerging leaders to continue to guide us in the future. We acknowledge the stolen generations and need to change practices to be inclusive. This land was and always will be Thunguddy and Dunguddy land. I also acknowledge the lands of the other Aboriginal people from where people are joining us by technology today. So welcome everyone to Public Forum. This coincides with the August Council meeting and it relates to representation on agenda item matters for the ordinary meeting of Council, which will commence tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. For this meeting, we have updated our COVID-19 practices to conform with the current orders that are in place within New South Wales. There's no one in the public gallery this evening, and no public forum speakers are joining this hybrid meeting by in person, but they are joining us by Zoom. It is a requirement that I advise all present that public forum is being live streamed and your attendance at this meeting is taken as consent to the possibility that your image and or voice may be recorded and broadcast to the public via our live stream. Just to outline in chambers today, we have Councillor Patterson, Councillor Saul, the Director of Infrastructure and Planning, Director Fish, the Director of Corporate and Commercial, Stephen Mitchell, myself, who's the Mayor, the General Manager, Craig Milburn, and our Manager of Governance and Information Technology. Did I say Councillor Saul? Yes. I did say Councillor Saul. Joining us by Zoom and online, we have Councillor Sue McGinn, Councillor Anna Shields, Councillor Leo Horville, Councillor Mark Baxter, Councillor Bruce Morris, and our two public forum speakers who I'll outline in a moment. I'll now call on any conflict of interest. Yes, Councillor McGinn.
Madam Mayor, I'd like to declare a non-significant, non-pecuniary interest in item 11.1 legal matters, as I'm known to one of the parties.
Thank you, Councillor McGinn.
Madam Mayor, I have a pecuniary significant interest in item 11.3 in the confidential matters. It's to do with my performance review.
Thank you, General Manager. The General Manager will outline the guidelines for public forum.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The guidelines are contained in our Code of Meeting Practice. Each speaker is allowed 5 minutes to address Council. Speakers at the public forums must stick to the subject and not digress from the item on the agenda. If they do digress, the chairperson will ask the person to come back onto track. A councillor may ask questions at the end of the presentation, and the speaker is under no obligation to answer it, but they may answer it and they have 1 minute to answer each of the questions. Speakers at public forums cannot ask questions of council, councillors or staff. Please, speakers must comply with our code and other relevant codes and policies and refrain from engaging in disorderly conduct, publicly engage, alleging breaches of Council's Code of Conduct or making any potential defamatory statements. Where a speaker fails to comply with those, the chairperson will ask the speaker to stop. Thanks, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, General Manager. So our two public forum speakers today are speaking on item 9.3, the planning proposal 600 Macleay Valley Way, South Kempsey, which is Julian Akkad of the Spectrum Retail Group. He'll be speaking for, and then that'll be followed by item 9.1, the Slim Dusty Centre ongoing management. We will be joined by David Kirkpatrick of the Slim Dusty Foundation Limited, and he will be speaking for. So I think we will begin, and we'll ask Julian Ackard if he would like to start his presentation. Thank you, Julian.
Madam Mayor, can I just come up with a quick procedural matter? Should all councillors that are attending, seeing this as being live streamed, have their video activated? Or is that not a requirement for the public forum? I know it's a requirement for a council meeting. I'm just curious as to whether it's a requirement for a public forum.
Thank you, Councillor Morris. If they were to ask questions, I wouldn't be able to see them anyway. So it would be, they would really need to have their videos activated to participate.
Yeah, if we can just make sure that all councillors have your videos on. We think you do, but on the current screen in front of me, I can't see all of you either. So,
No.
Yep, thank you.
I can see Councillor Baxter. I can see Councillor Williams has joined us. I cannot see Councillor Horville or Councillor Shields.
Madam Mayor, can I make comment? My internet, it seems to slow when I have the video on, and sometimes the speech is a bit distorted. That's why I have mine off.
Okay. Just if you need to ask a question, you will have to put it on or speak out. And I don't know where Councillor
Will do. Thanks.
Okay. All righty. We'll now begin. Thank you, Mr. Ackard.
Thanks, Liz. I appreciate the opportunity to speak this afternoon. And good afternoon to everyone, councillors and staff and anyone else in attendance. So as Liz mentioned, my name is Julian Ackard from Spectrum Retail Group. I'm the applicant and developer for the proposed highway service centre at 600 Macleay Valley Way in South Kempsey. And I'm going to be speaking in favour of the application and the planning proposal. Spectrum Retail Group is a developer of retail and service station developments across the eastern seaboard. We initially commenced work on this particular site in 2017 in extensive consultation with council, including the mayor and general manager. And along the way, we've received a lot of support. It's been a long road, and we've certainly encountered a number of challenges that some were unforeseen. In essence, the planning proposal seeks to add a permitted use to the current zoning for the site. The site is currently zoned RU2, which is a rural zoning, and it seeks to permit the development of a highway service centre. We believe this project is an important one for Kempsey, as it's at the front door to the council area from the Slim Dusty interchange at South Kempsey. The site is a gateway location, and we believe it has strategic importance to Kempsey. Now, a few of the challenges, the reason why this project has taken a while to get to this point, as well as doing a lot of detailed assessments for the site, and all of those have come up positive for the application. We were challenged by the neighbour to the north. He challenged council's application and decision to approve the planning proposal, and our business, Spectrum Retail Group, essentially stepped up to the plate to defend that position in court. Actually, the matter was withdrawn before it went to court, so that ended up causing a delay of about 18 months. And in more recent times, the pandemic has had its effect on this proposal, unfortunately. in making business generally harder. A few of our tenant partners have, some have delayed, some have withdrawn from the proposal. But I wanted to say that our commitment to the site and to seeing it through has not diminished. And in fact, in middle of July this year, we signed an unconditional contract to purchase the property. And prior to that, we had a conditional contract which was conditioned on getting approvals through council. So we effectively are to seeing this through and appreciate all of the support that council has given us on this journey. Some of the benefits that this proposal will bring to Kempsey is that it's a significant development. It's got a $25 million end value, and it will be significant in both construction jobs and ongoing jobs. It will provide in the order of 450 to 500 ongoing jobs, which would be accommodated from Kempsey. People aren't going to drive up from major capital cities to work in these businesses, so they're definitely going to provide jobs for locals. I think that's all I wanted to say. Appreciate council's help, and I'm open for any questions. I'm ahead of time.
Thank you very much. I have Councillor McGinn has her hand up. So yes, Councillor McGinn.
Oh, hello, and thank you, Julian, for your presentation. When is it expected that construction may begin, and do you have a planned opening date?
At this point in time, we would be looking at about the middle of next year as a commencement for construction. We still have some way to go through council applications. So the first step is what council is considering today, which is the planning proposal. And then we have most of the work done for a DA, which we will then, once the rezoning goes through, the DA would go in. So there's still a bit of water to go under the bridge with the planning process, but all going well, we would start middle of next year, and it's around a 12-month build. So that would take it to the middle of 23 for an opening.
I just have a second question, if I might, and that is, I do recall seeing the plans in general. Have they changed at all markedly, or is it still generally the same development that we saw some time ago?
It's still on the same path. So I'm not exactly sure which version of the plans you're referring to, but we're still very much intending to develop the full-blown highway service centre, which comes at a price, and it is a challenging build. RMS, the Department of Main Roads, they certainly put their requirement and their wish list in front of us for. It's not quite a wish list. It's must do's for 25 truck bays and shower facilities and public rest facilities. So it's a fair bit that we need to build as a developer, and construction prices are certainly a challenge and a factor.
Thank you, Councillor Baxter.
Thank you, Julian, and thank you for investing $25 million into our valley. It's exciting. I similar to Sue just then, I want to ask you, from what I remember the last time we spoke, you were going to make it a very green project with solar panels and recycled water and all the rest of it. Is that still happening?
That's still very much the intention and the plan.
Wonderful.
I have to put the caveat on it now that some of the builder pricings that have come in during the pandemic have been quite challenging and eye-watering. So to the extent that we can afford a lot of the ideas that we came up with, and I mean some of what we dreamed about and produced in a sort of three-dimensional plan. The economics might limit how much of that we can achieve, but we're certainly not here to promise the world and deliver a map. So we do want to achieve as much as we can. I'm actually just being transparent. There are challenges with the price tag on some of those ideas.
Yeah. Can I have a second question, Julian? Given the way the world's going, I would expect you're going to have electric car facilities too, aren't you?
Yeah, this is part of our plan on this site, that this would draw a bit of attention, that we would have electric car refueling or fast charge stations, as well as we are planning to make this site future-proofed for hydrogen refueling.
Wow!
And hydrogen is the competitor to electric cars.
Yes.
Obviously, there's been a bit more traction with electric cars in market with Tesla and the like. But hydrogen, we think is coming, but it's very much a cart before the horse scenario. So the best we could probably do is build the infrastructure underneath the slab, if you like, and future-proof the site.
Yeah.
Because until cars are sold that are hydrogen-generated cars, there's no point having Bowsers that sell hydrogen. So
gotcha.
we're thinking ahead.
Yeah. Oh, good. Thanks, Julian.
Thank you. Councillor Holborn. Councillor Holborn, you ready? Okay, we can't hear Councillor Holborn.
No, we still can't hear you, Leo. We're just waiting. Mark, can you put your hand down? You should have clicked it off.
Just click your hand off. Your little hand, that's it. So we've got Councillor Holborn. He has his hand up, but we can't see him or hear him at this point in time. So he may have to send his question in. Might work. Is there anyone else that has a question? Councillor Councillor Patterson, thank you.
Maybe I should have checked in online first. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Julian, I just a couple of questions. It's Councillor Patterson here. You're saying that you may have lost a couple of tenants, possibly. Have you got possible replacements or other people interested? Do you mind me asking?
Yeah, no, that's okay. We do. So I won't mention brands today in this forum, but we did have our lead tenant, the main fuel operator, pull out of the proposal, but we do have another major fuel operator with us at the moment. So part of the joys of development, we've gone through a bit of a roller coaster, but what hasn't changed is our belief, and I think with the belief and the right timing, we think it'll all come together. So we do have another fuel operator that is with us.
And just one other question, Julian. You're talking about future proofing, and that's a great idea about the hydrogen to go in. Are you future proofing your plan as well as in your map? Because what's going to happen next door if your service centre goes in and the next door can't have a service centre? What that's what I'm sort of getting at. Is there a possible plan that includes extensions, or just hearsay, I suppose?
Extensions, as in to connect the two developments or something?
Yeah. Because that would be
Yeah.
pretty sensible. Because obviously, the more area, the better for you guys. You know.
Yeah, we've actually had some productive discussions with the neighbour about potentially joining the sites. We didn't reach any agreement at that time, but the door is open, I believe, on both sides to entertain anything that can happen to join the sites. I think the reality is that these things are quite difficult to get out of the ground.
Yep.
And for a private developer such as ourselves to get a development like this out of the ground, all of the stars need to align.
Yep.
And I mean, a big part of that is the cost of this is quite expensive, and you need to have all of the tenants, or at least the majors, on board at the right time. So I think, in terms of the two developments, it's really the other side has the neighbours to the north have had all their approvals in place since 2015, some 6 years or so in their pocket. So, I think from council's perspective, planning perspective, and free economy perspective, I think either site or both will fill the demand for a highway service centre and a rest stop on that northbound side of the highway. That's certainly the strategic objective for RMS, is to have a rest stop on both sides of the highway. And whether motorists have one facility to choose from or two, that's ultimately going to be market that decides that. So
yep.
we're just operating in that same
yep.
sense. It's similar to any other business that opens up. Someone could open up next door, and that's the world we live in.
I do understand that, and I'd just like to echo Councillor Bacter's sentiments of thank you for looking to spend that sort of money and investment in our community. All the best.
Thank you.
Councillor Patterson. We do have the questions from Councillor Horval that have been submitted by the General Manager. So, General Manager, if you'd like to ask those questions.
Yeah, Julian, these are from Councillor Horval. First one makes a comment. Thanks for the presentation, Mr. Ackard. The issue raised by RMS in the letter of June 2019 said there were issues with access. Have these been resolved?
Thanks for the question. So the access has been resolved in terms of discussions with both RMS and Council. There was, I believe you're referring to the access on Macleay Valley Way, where there was a question raised by the neighbour in relation to the proximity to their driveway versus our driveway, and deceleration or reacceleration sort of distances. That particular issue was quite easy to resolve. We did shift our driveway further to the south, which is closer to the roundabout. And at this point in time, bearing in mind there's no DA approval and ultimate rubber stamps from both Council and RMS, at this point in time we believe we have a solution for that issue.
Okay, next question. Will the centre be able to have a B-double, etc. battery exchange area? I guess that's when it goes to electric trucks.
That's something we haven't looked at. So that's interesting. I know there has been some progress with batteries and trucks, and obviously the distance they can travel it'd be a challenge for them to make Sydney to Brisbane. It's something that the site definitely would have enough size to do something like that. So we haven't specifically drawn onto the plans any such arrangement, but could it be easily enough to do? I mean, we do want to come up with a lot of a lot of initiatives and hopefully a lot of firsts for this site. So there's a lot of simple wins with water reuse, water harvesting, solar, potential wind turbines, electric charging, hydrogen, any battery replacement facilities. And, depending on when this development comes online, there might be other government initiatives or grants or businesses that want a pilot site. And we're certainly looking out for those type of opportunities. So.
Yep. Two more questions. Are there any financial backers local to the Mid-North Coast?
At present, we actually do have one of the non-bank lenders that might be supporting the construction finance of this is Mid-North Coast based. In general, no, but if anyone does want to contribute to it from the Mid-North Coast, they definitely can get in touch, because it's not a cheap development, and in fact, if they'll want to, because the returns aren't looking all that handsome at the moment. But we're definitely open to investments.
Yep. And the last one was, what are the full-time equivalent numbers for employment? I'm assuming that's once it is operational.
I don't have on hand the full-time equivalent number. The total number is quite close to 500, which is a combination of full-time, part-time, and casual. So, it's something I could possibly work out and come back to you on that one.
Councillor Morris.
Madam Mayor, just a quick question. We're talking about future proofing. Has there been any consideration, or would there be the capacity? Not that we've got B triples yet, but I think we will have some stage in the future to accommodate B triples.
Thanks for the question. B triples is something that RMS has asked us to demonstrate the site's capacity to provide B triples, and the site is capable of B triples. So the roads aren't there yet, but our site will be, and then it's a matter if and when the roads start to support B triples, our site, all of our access points and turning circles and everything can and will be able to cater for those.
Thank you.
Liz? Oh, it's all right.
That looks like that's all the questions that we have. Oh, no, we don't. We have one more, Councillor Saul.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just a quick one, Julie, if I may, please. You mentioned you hope to start construction by mid-2020. With the rest of the time with the economy, 22, I apologise. With the economy and lack of materials available, if that's pushed back, will that have any problems for financing and other activities you plan to do?
You're on mute, Julian.
Sorry. Could I just clarify, in terms of other activities, do you mean other projects, if that's delayed?
What I'm saying is we were told that there was a shortage of building materials and construction could be a bit of a problem. Bearing in mind you're hoping to construct by mid-22, if that can't happen, does it actually have an effect on your plans or your financing and all that sort of situation? Because some banks don't like to wait too long.
The simple answer is yes, it would have a bearing, and we are somewhat at the mercy of the market in terms of construction pricing. The video just went off. We're somewhat at the mercy of construction pricing and material availabilities when the project is ready to tender and go into construction. So, to some extent, if things blow out too much, or there isn't steel available or concrete available, it would delay the project. But I'd like to think that they're challenges that everyone will face in construction and building and development, and normally the market will see its way through.
Thank you, Julian. I wish you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Julian. Just by way of comment, and it's a question because I can only ask a question, really. You understand that this recommendation that's going to council tomorrow is for the rezoning. That's a planning proposal for the rezoning of that land. It's not the development application. Just so that everyone's aware.
I'm aware, yes.
And the councillors as well. Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thanks for the opportunity to speak.
We will now go on to our second speaker, which is David Kirkpatrick. Welcome, David. Thank you for joining us today. I'm sorry you couldn't be here in person.
Yes.
But I hope everything's going for you okay down on the Central Coast.
Yeah, well, could be worse places to be in lockdown than where we are. We are within easy distance of the beach, walking distance, etc. So we've got plenty of fresh air and area to exercise. So yeah, it's been as usual for everyone. It's just difficult not being able to get down to Sydney to see Joy or Anne or other members of the family.
Thank you. So your 5 minutes begins now, and we're looking forward to hearing from you.
Thank you, everyone. Obviously, tomorrow is a very important day for the foundation, the centre, and we've had the management agreement with Kempsey Council, actually managing the centre extremely well since December last year, and we've certainly had many months of discussion, negotiation, and I believe what is being put forward to you tomorrow represents a very sound and I can say extremely well-researched proposal. I'd like to commend Stephen and Craig for all of their time, help and effort, and all the people in their team, as well as obviously the people on my team. There's been a lot of time invested in this, and I think that's appropriate. It needs to be. It's a big decision, and it's an important decision for to maintain this centre. We're passionate about it. It was an initiative that was started by the Macleay Valley business people who came to us to say, would we be interested in supporting this proposal? We were. We've seen it through. We've built it. It's challenging. We've had the challenging times of COVID. All galleries and places are under stress in these environments. But it's the important thing that I want to emphasise to the council in our support for this proposal is to re-emphasise very much the integral part that we believe the family, the Slim Dusty family and the Slim Dusty Foundation has with this project. We understand that what makes this centre unique and what will give it a competitive edge in events and various other commercial propositions is the association with the Slim Dusty brand. They're a unique association, the use of intellectual property, and of course the ability, if we go ahead with this proposal, for us to actually keep the Slim Dusty collection of memorabilia intact in one spot. And this is the only spot in Australia that you can come and see it. It won't be available or on show in other places. So I really just wanted to be here to support Craig, Stephen, the proposal that's going to you, and to reiterate the utter commitment of our family and the board to the success of the centre and the ongoing success. And I just believe that this is going to really, in a way, I think we'll be relaunching the centre in 2022 after the closures, the lockdown, and now with a new ability to refresh exhibits, get a new curator in. We have 3 or 4 exhibits that we already know we want to do, and it will give us a chance to relaunch it in marketing, get it out there, get a lot more exposure again, and generate a lot of interest in the centre, and obviously Kempsey and the Greater Macleay as well. So that really is the basis of all I wanted to say, and I'm more than happy to answer any questions that anyone might wish to ask me.
Thank you very much, David. Is there anyone? Nobody has their hand up, but it's a very good report. You spoke very well, so it looks like there is nobody that wants to ask you a question. Yes, there is one. Leo Horval would like to. Councillor Horval?
Make comment first.
Before we take the question, the General Manager would like to make a comment, so I'm going to take that comment first.
It's just a reminder to the councillors that we are in the public forum and it is open at the moment. So if the questions become of a confidential nature, just be aware that we can't ask those in the public forum.
Thank you, General Manager. Councillor Horval? We can't seem to.
Leo, you're
on mute anyway, Leo.
Yeah, you're on mute, Leo. Oh, here we go. Question, if I may, Madam Mayor, Leo and the Councillor Hall will send it through. Will the Slim Dusty Festival go ahead next year?
Yes, very much so. I mean, it was a rather prescient move to decide to not put it on this year, and the way that things have turned out, that is the reason why we did postpone it. Our current plans were to start marketing it in November. We are already well advanced in the planning for it, and it's very reassuring that all the artists who've been now rolled over for 2 years have all indicated their willingness and enthusiasm to be part of this inaugural Kempsey Slim Dusty Festival. So yes, definitely going to be a high point for us next year.
Thank you, David, and that is really a good question, because it's so important for us to look forward to a Slim Dusty Festival here in Kempsey that has been going on now for many years.
Exactly. Mm.
There's no more questions, so thank you, and that concludes our public forum for this evening, and we take care now to the live stream will go off, and councillors, if you'd like to remain